Welcome back to the channel. This is Natsu, and we need to talk about Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves Open Beta. This is gonna be my review, as you know. Also, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot of the channel. The main reason why I waited for the beta to finish is to see if any of the issues that were happening will get fixed, or maybe it will get better. Right now, something I want to do like a quick disclaimer is that the version I play was in PlayStation 5, the normal one, no Pro or anything like that, because I've been hearing reports that for some people it felt slow, and for other people it didn't feel slow whatsoever. So here you know that I did this review using the PlayStation 5 will be more transparent, because I know some people were having issue with the PC version. Now, let's go. Let's start with the menus, right? The menus at the beginning, it feels slow, like there's a loading time, and I did notice that it was trying to check. So I think the issue why it's so slow is that it's trying to verify that you're connected to the servers, and you also have the green card to go and play the game. And it did create a horrible experience. If you think about it, it's the same thing that happens in Tekken 8 when you enter enter the game, right? You will see like a kind of weird load screen, your character hovering around, and then you will be able to enter finally to the game. So I think that's the issue that is happening. So hopefully this can be fixed really fast and easy by making the loading screen, the one that says Fatal Fury, the one that will allow you to connect to the servers first, and then have the notification enabled over there. So once you are in the main menu, it will load way faster and there won't be that weird lag. Now, that is one of the negative things about the open beta that happened. I think it can be fixed really easy, like I mentioned. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is a bigger issue for them, and they don't have that kind of, the way they set up the system wasn't like that. So technically, they're making the authentication double. Now, regarding the issues of people not getting any matches, in my case, I didn't have that issue whatsoever. I was getting back-to-back matches, but there was like a wait, sometimes like 1 minute. Not sure if it's trying to verify where I am in the region, and also the ping, because I feel the game was connecting more. It was connecting me more with people that are close to my region instead of people that have better pings. Now, the reason why I mentioned this is that if you remember back when Street Fighter 6 came out, there was an issue that, for example, let's say that you are in New York, right? So instead of getting matches with people close by, like, I don't know, maybe Boston, maybe Canada, depending on what part of Canada, you were getting matched with people from California. And even though it's the same, the same country, is big, there's a big space in between, and maybe the connections weren't the best because of the pins. So in my case, you still have a little bit more transparency. I'm from Puerto Rico, and if you look like in the map, it's in the Caribbean, right? Now, I was getting paired a lot with people from South America. Now, yes, that means they're closer to me in theory. Like, people from Minnesota are closer to me than maybe somebody from New York, but the big difference is that my pins, because of the way the network are structured between the different nations, in this case, I'm connected with the main grid in the States, so it makes sense that I have better connections with people from the States than from people from Venezuela. Again, we can go about that Venezuela maybe might not have the best internet, or maybe Colombia or whatever part in South America. But that's another thing altogether. I'm just talking about they're trying to connect me with people that are closest to my region, which doesn't translate to better pings. Even though that's another thing I did notice, that you will see like the milliseconds, like MS, say a number like 44, and that should be great, but it was lagging like crazy, and it was really weird. Another thing I did notice is that there isn't any Wi-Fi indicator. If you look on the top of the screen, right, where the timer is, you will see that there's bars, and you will see the milliseconds and the delay frame, and it's okay to be there. But the thing is that you think if you see like the bars, you will think that everybody's using Ethernet, and that is not the case. Like, I did notice a lot of people were dropping rates a lot of times, and it was playable. It was in the case of the netcode, it feels better than King of Fire 15, but I think it still needs work. Now, I think this beta was mainly done not for people to, I mean, sure to play the game and have promotion, but more to test out the network stuff. Which, if you don't know, Kingdom Fighter 15 did get really messed up regarding the matchmaking was bad. But if I'm gonna be honest, this is not the first time that SNK has this issue. Back in the day, there was a game called Kingdom Fighter 12. Now, people don't remember that game because people never talk about that game. The network was so horrible that, and also the gameplay was kind of weird because it was 1 versus 1, if I remember correctly, instead of 3 versus 3, and the roster was super small. But the network was horrible. Then Kingdom Fighter 13 came, excellent gameplay, but the network was horrible. It was, you know, again, it wasn't using rollback at that time. Now we have that finally with the new versions that are out. But after that, Kingdom Fighter 14 came out and no rollback, and then Kingdom Fighter 15 finally they decided to add rollback. So the experience the SNK has with rollback netcode technically is just one game. Compared to Capcom, which had more experience, even though the Street Fighter 5 wasn't the best netcode wise, in Street Fighter 6 it got better. And of course, that's another thing is that even though it got better, the thing is that Capcom is a bigger company, the same as Bandai with Tekken, and it seems this is a big horror for Japanese companies still, because if you see games like Schoolgirls, heck, you can see games like Mighty Power Rangers, Power Grid, like the rollback netcode is way better there than something like this. Even though it was playable, I was able to do stuff, but stuff like Just Defense, which you need to be really time persistence, can be annoying to do it online if you know that your opponent likes to zone with Kane, and and that's another thing that we're going to talk a little bit a second, the mechanics. But yeah, I think they need to address this also and make the information show on the display for people to see, like have a wave indicator and also like better information on how much the pings is or the frame data or delay frame, sorry. Okay, so let's talk about other stuff positive, because we already went with the other negative. Even though the last thing might be like training mode should be added, I don't think it should be added. This beta was to test out the netcode and for people to play the game. Back in the day, if you were doing a beta in arcade cabinets, old school style, like you will know, like there will be like a graphic showing the special move that each character does, but it wasn't the whole special move sometimes because it was like a limited space. So at least this time around we got videos, but compared back to the day was horrible experience if you have an ego trip, and that's I think what people are crying about, that oh there should be a training mode because all these game mechanics. The tutorial did show the mechanics, but there was some things that weren't shown, like for example if you get knocked down, how you can quick recover. That it wasn't shown altogether. Also, even though some characters, all the characters have like the evade option of evading highs or lows. If you look at the only way you can know about that is in the tutorial, but if you look at that in the SNK website, it doesn't show up, so you were technically blind. But again, that's more like experience of what a beta is. It's just to play and have fun and see if you like the game, instead of oh I want to know the optimal combo damage. And yes, people can say oh they didn't put a training mode because they will crack the beta and then people will have how do you say this, advantage in tournaments. And to be honest, even though it doesn't have the beta, I mean the training mode, it's always gonna get cracked and you can modify it, and that was happened in the weekend. That's what happened. Like I know people like to talk about it, and the issue with this is that it's either we ban PC betas altogether or we let it go like it is. And there's other stuff that we could talk about, like the leaks that happen because of the beta with the character rosters, etc, etc. But anyways, let's go and talk finally about great stuff, which is the game itself. This game feels nice to play with it. The combos are like I don't feel the word drop inputs in my gameplay unless it was like netcode related, compared to Street Fighter 6 where sometimes the input will get messed up and the stuff didn't come out altogether. The game mechanics I think works great, and even though it's a game that has a lot of game mechanics, there are not game mechanics that carry you. So what I mean by this is, for example, in Street Fighter 6 you have the parry, right? But the parry you need to hold it down, so there's no timing, there's no skill, to be honest, if you compare it to just defend, right? So in this regard, that Fatal Fury is gonna be a harder game, and I think that's another thing that people were having issues. Like, even though in Street Fighter 6 you can be aggressive, in SNK games you are more aggressive altogether, and you need to hold that, you need to block. So it's more close attuned to aggressive gameplay that you see in anime games like Guilty Gear, Melty Blood, even Under 9 Birth. So yeah, I think I love the game. The cancels were easy to do. The combos I don't think are hard. I like it that everybody can do, do short combos with their jabs, compared to Garou Mark of the Wolves, where some characters were privileged that they could do that, but not all characters. Another thing I want to mention is that, like I said, all the game mechanics, I think they work in tandem correctly, and the more you play with high level players, the more you notice that so many options that you have, that it is necessary to have those options, because opening people up in this game is not that easy. Because for example, going back to Street Fighter 6 and also Tekken 8, the drive rush mechanic and also the hit mechanic allows you to rush people, easy and automatic. Over here you need to provide and create that pressure. You need to do short hops, you need to use your overhead, you need to poke, you need to grab. So yeah, I love the gameplay. So anyways, let's finish that because the gameplay was great. The damage, I think some characters has a little bit more damage, and that's something altogether that we could talk about. I don't think it's an issue right now, but again, this is like the beta. We don't have training mode access to it. I know some characters have more damage, like I said, but the issue will be if they can do that damage and all will be safe. And that's a big issue that modifying games are having, that characters have break damage but have safe pressure, and if they block it, they can continue pressure, and if they get hit, they can do like a big combo. So I'm afraid that maybe this might happen with the game, but again, it can be changed in the future. Let me know in the comments below what do you think about the beta. If you play it, do you like the experience? Do you have issues with your netcode? Etc, etc. As always, like and subscribe. See you next video. Bye bye.